Hello and welcome to the Handyman's World, the right place for quick and easy fixes. Today we're dealing with ski edge tuning and waxing. So let's stop talking and start working. Alright guys, here we are working on our skis. These are a friend's skis and he asked me to redo the edges. So let's get started right away. First thing to do is check the base edge angle. We'll lock the ski brakes using an elastic band like this. With a caliper, we check that there's a gap between the edge and the caliper. Okay, the angle is still here, but let's give it a light pass just to be sure. I'm using a 1mm file and marking it at a preset distance to get a 1 degree base level. Keep the file in this position and run it along the edge just like this. Home problem? Fix it fast and save cash. Subscribe now and hit the bell to get the solutions you need. The Handyman's World, no problems, only solutions. Alright, the base angle is done. Now let's take care of the side edge angle. Let's clean the edge. In this case, since there's some phenolic plastic here, use a square to make sure it doesn't stick out past the metal edge. Looks good. If the edge is badly worn, it's worth doing a first pass with a regular file. But since this one isn't too bad, we can go straight to the sharpening stones. Okay, I built my own abrasive stones by reusing a sandpaper disc with different grits. We'll start with a 300 grit and finish with a 600 grit. I'm using an 88 side edge guide with masking tape on it to protect the ski base. Place the stone grit side down, clamp it onto the guide with pliers and make it stick out just a little, just enough to hit the edge but not too much. Spray a little alcohol water solution on the stone and let's start sharpening. Move the stone back and forth like this. Depending on the edge condition, 6 to 7 passes are usually enough before moving on. At the tail, I noticed the phenolic is too high. The stone is hitting the plastic more than the edge. In that case, use a small file or a sidewall planer to remove the excess plastic, being careful not to touch the metal edge. Perfect, now the stone is contacting the edge properly. Let's continue. Now we finish with the 600 grit. The edge is sharp again, especially in this area that wears the most. Let's flip the ski and do the other side. This one is a bit worse, so I start with a quick file pass. First pass 300 grit, then move to the 600 grit finishing. Perfect, this ski is done. Same process for the other ski and then we'll move on to waxing. Alright, time for waxing. First, clean the ski base. I use a mild cleaner, much less aggressive than thinner, so it's safe. You can also use ethyl alcohol, or if you use thinner, make sure to apply very quickly and sparingly. Or you can just buy a ski base cleaner. Here's the type of wax I use. To apply it, I use a regular iron. Always check the temperature. I've already measured mine and it's set to 110 degrees Celsius, 230 Fahrenheit. Let's melt and spread the wax evenly along the base. Once the wax is spread, Let the ski cool down completely. I'll wax the other ski while we wait. Now that it's cooled, we can scrape off the excess wax. I use a plastic scraper I made myself from a simple plastic piece. It's important to keep the scraper edge sharp using a file. That sharp edge removes the wax properly. Scrape until no more wax comes off. Be patient, it takes a bit of work. For a finer finish, you can use brushes, bronze or nylon, but for my use, this finish is fine. Okay, now the skis are ready to test. Alright, so these are the ski vises I built myself. The wooden base is screwed to the workbench, and then we have this small steel bracket that's screwed onto the wooden support. I've added some electrical tape on top to protect the skis. In the middle there's this vise. I always wrap it with electrical tape as well, to avoid scratching the skis. On the other side, we've got the second vise. These two supports up here are what I use when I do base angle and waxing, and these little pieces here work as a stop when tightening the screws on the skis. Here's how it works when doing the edges. The ski goes into the vise, we place this small aluminum spacer and then tighten it up. The middle vise, this one here, stays completely open, since all the work is done by the two outer vises. So you just slightly tighten the screw and the ski is locked in place. Same thing on the other sides, of course. When we switch to base angle and waxing, we need to flip the ski over. So open the vise, remove the spacer, then place these blocks, also covered with electrical tape, on top of the vises. Fully open the center vise, position the supports and then close the middle vise. Obviously, be careful to do not damage your skis. Once again, the ski is locked in place and then we can move on with our work. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next tutorial.